Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth with the Salty Ladies. We're in the kitchen today baking some bread. We're getting ready to go to the farmer's market. And tonight we're doing Meet the Farmers. And so all of the vendors will be there. And they're going to be serving a baked potato dinner. So I'm sure that we're going to have a really good turnout. And I'm excited about that. We did our first farmer's market this past Saturday. And surprisingly, we took all of our bath product line out there, and I decided, since we had taken some produce and some eggs and things like that, I just wanted to see how some homemade baked goods did and see if it went over good. And surprisingly, it sold out. I mean, we did sell some of our other things, but people were just going crazy over homemade bread and pies. And so I did sort of put myself in a position on time today. So I'm not going to be baking any pies, unfortunately, but we are baking some bread. And seeing as my last video turned out terrible due to having to use the video on my cell phone, then I'm going to go ahead and remake this video today. I thought it'd be a good opportunity. And I'm using my new vlogging camera that my sweet baby got me. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to tell you guys ahead of time that I will be making a double batch on every one that I make. I'm making 4 loaves at a time. So you don't have to follow the recipe that I'm giving you now. You would just simply cut it in half. So the general recipe will give you 2 loaves, but the recipe that I'm going to follow today will give you 4 loaves. So I've got 2 cups of water already in my mixer, and I'm fixing to just go ahead and add another 2 cups, giving me a total of 4 cups of hot water. And then the second thing that you add is a cup of white sugar. Generally, again, cutting this in half, it would be a half a cup of white sugar, but you're just going to dump this in on top of the hot water and give that time to disintegrate. I usually give mine a little bit of a spin to sort of encourage it to get worked in there and melt down a little bit faster. Just like that. I mean, just like less than a minute, really. And then I've got 3 tablespoons of active dry yeast. In a regular recipe, you're going to use 1.5 tablespoons of active dry yeast. And I'm going to give that a spin also. And I'm going to bring the camera over here and just show you what it's supposed to look like in there. So that's what it's going to look like starting out. But as the yeast has time, I would say maybe less than 5 minutes or right at 5 minutes, as the yeast has time to foam up, then that's when you're going to go on to your next step. So we're going to give that a few minutes, and it's going to just look like a foam sitting on top of your water, and that's when you're going to know that it's done. So while that's working, I'm going to turn the camera over here and sit down and talk. The last video that I made, I was making it on my cell phone, and it turned out bad, like I said. In between sections of the video, I was sitting down and just having a chat with you guys, and I was talking a little bit about sort of a get to know you about me and my daughter Gracie, and I was explaining that we sort of started this little it's not really a business, I guess you would call it. Like, really my passion is to teach people how to be more self-sustainable. And I mean, we do make the organic bath product line, but really that's just, I don't even know that you would call it a hobby. I mean, we do, of course, we have to make a little bit of money. So it's something that we enjoy doing together, that we do make a little bit of side money with. And so we started getting into that, I guess, in 2020, maybe the beginning of 2020. And then last year, around the time that COVID hit and the schools closed, and I was working from home, Grace and I were spending, of course, a lot more time together. And we had only bought our house in 2019. And it's always been sort of my dream to have a small little homestead, because as a kid, I was raised in the country, and that's something that I always wanted to give my kids, and was just given that opportunity for the first time in 2019 when we bought this house. It's not a lot of land here. We've got close to 5 acres, but it's big enough for us to have a few little farm animals and have a big, nice sized garden. And so we do enjoy those things. But Grace is, you just have to know her. She just really loves animals, and she loves babies, and she's just really nurturing. And so we both got on board with, or got an agreement that we were going to work together on taking care of and maintaining the animals. Neither one of the girls are really into the gardening side of things like I am. But even I have learned so much in this last year that I didn't know before about my gardening and stuff like that. So it's been a learning experience for all of us, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. And so like we talked about in the video when we were building the chicken coop, it's just something that was in our hearts to start doing some blogging and helping learn together with everybody else out there that's interested in the same things that we are. My son is working on a website for us, and we would like to see ourselves be able to build a small community of people, if not, only in our area, but I mean, just reaching as many people that are interested in the same things that we are. So we've got a Facebook page, The Salty Ladies at Kid Farm on Facebook, and every day I do a little did you know, and it's got some tips on anywhere from things about homesteading to being self-sustainable to just really anything that has to do with preparedness and gardening and all sorts of things. So that's just something that I do to keep people engaged, but eventually I would love to be able to see it grow into something that, maybe we even had some classes and stuff like that. And I would like to see people interacting with each other and sharing, their ideas and things that they know, especially the older folks that know a lot more about it than we do. I love listening and learning from older people's wisdom. And anyway, that's just a little bit about us and a background on where we started from. And like I said, we'll just sort of chat in between checking on this bread, but it's probably time to look and see how our yeast is doing. Oh yeah, that's definitely ready. See how puffy and foamy that is? So the next step in this is going to be, people don't realize how easy it is to make bread. You can make your own bread, and it's so much cheaper and so easy to make right at home. And you don't have to have a KitchenAid to do it. KitchenAid mixer. You can do it with these 2 hands. But I do love my mixer. It just makes life easy. But anyway, so we're going to add a 1/2 cup of oil. In a regular recipe, you're going to add 1/4 cup of oil. Just cut that in half. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on. And then we're going to do 3 teaspoons of salt, and generally it would be 1.5 teaspoons. set up really good. Oh man, I slept until 8:30 this morning and I can't even remember, literally, I cannot remember the last time that I did that. My body is so worn out from just going. We've been, like I said, baking and gardening and taking care of animals and just making bath products. We've just been going nonstop. And then the old church that I used to go to, my pastor's wife had asked me to share my testimony at a women's meeting they're doing tonight. And so I knew that we had the farmer's market, but Gracie has volunteered to take over and pack up our stuff for me so that I can be a part of that. And I'm really excited about that. So I was yesterday working on getting that written and prepared for her. So that's going to be, to me, that takes precedence over making money at the farmer's market or pretty much anything else, because even if a testimony only reaches one person, then it was definitely worth it to me. So anyways, we've got our mix done. That's going to be it for the wet ingredients, and I'm getting ready to add our bread flour in a cup at a time. In a normal recipe, you'd be using 5 to 6 cups. In this recipe, I'm going to be adding in close to 12 cups. Somebody's at the door. Well, the pest guy just came. That's who was at the door. So this is what our dough is looking like right now. I'm about 2 cups away from being finished to adding our flour. So I just wanted you to kind of get an update on what it looks like. Add 2 more cups. My handle broke off my measuring cup. There we go. That's lovely. When I'm doing a double batch, unfortunately, it makes a giant mess because as everything's rising, the flour has nowhere to go, so it's just sort of going over the sides. So if you don't mind a little mess, just be prepared because that's what happens. So I've got a few loaves here already that I've already done. Got them laying on their side right now because I like to give the sides a really dry crust on them. I'm going to bag these up and get them prepared to take to the market with us. So I like to make sure it's nice and dry when I stick them in the bags, otherwise they're going to get sticky. I've got another batch that I've already done. And you can kind of see this is what it looks like as it rises. We're going to take that batch and pinch it off and make 4 loaves out of that. So as you can see, you can kind of tell what my before, during, and after looks like. You're going to set your oven to 350. You're going to pinch. First, you're going to punch down this loaf or this batch. And then you're going to pinch off your loaves in equal portions and stick them in your 4 loaf pans that are already pre-oiled. I like to do all my stuff ahead of time. I like to make sure my bowl is oiled, my pans are oiled. I like everything to be ready so that it just kind of flows real smooth. So this is still looking a little bit wet, so I'm going to go ahead and add us another cup. Like I said, it's give or take. You can kind of tell if it's still sticking to the walls, that's not good enough. It's too wet. So, because in the end portion of this, it's going to knead it with this attachment that's on there, and it should all be free from sticking to the walls at that point. What did I say? You see that? Alright, lots of fun mess to clean up. once it gets full, when you're doing one with 4 loaves in there, you gotta be careful because this thing will walk away from you. Watch this and that thing will loose. You see what it looks like? It's just like if you were kneading bread with your hands. That's about the right consistency. Not sticking to the walls. And it's coming right off. Okay, then after that you're gonna take your dough and transport it into this bowl, which at that time is gonna be empty and oiled already. And plop your dough down in there. You want to give it a good turn and make sure all sides of your dough are covered with that oil that was already down in your pan, okay? And then you're going to allow that dough with a wet rag draped over the top. You're going to allow that dough to rise for about an hour. It's going to double to triple in size. You can see here where this one's just coming over the top. And that's normal. That's the way it's supposed to look, okay? So after that, you're going to remove your towel, and I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to do this and hold my camera. Probably not. Nope. Can you see? Can't see. Let me scoot my chair back. There we go. So this is what's called punching it down. You're just gonna knock this dough down until it falls to close to the same size it was when you originally put it in here. I usually work on it about a minute, not too long, a minute or two. It's a fun thing to do if you've got any aggressions you need to take out. Since I already have this batch made up, I'm going to just take you all along and show y'all what I do when I'm dividing it up. There it is, punched down. Bring the camera over here. I know my videography is not going to be that great today, but I do have a tripod ordered, so going forward, maybe our videos are going to look better and better. Got the camera that I need now, so that certainly helps. You can hear me and you can see me. It's a miracle. So I'm gonna, since I already pretty much know what these loaves look like because I make enough of them. This is about the right portion for 1 loaf. Okay. You're going to take that loaf and you're going to put it in the pan. Can you see me? Can you hear me now? Alright, there's 1. Let's go with number 2. This one feels kind of small, so with one more small pan, I think I'm going to stick this one in. Somebody's at the door again. Hold on. It's me again. I'm back. It was the pest guy. He's putting us some mouse bait in our pantry outside. Okay, so where were we? So clearly you've got X amount of dough left and you've only got 2 pans, so you're going to take this last portion, which I say my last 2 big pans, and I'm just going to try to get as close to equal as I can on that and pinch them in half. It is currently 10 after 1 and we need to leave this house by 2 o'clock. Not going to happen. Got our loaf pans full. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm about to rinse this bowl and re-oil it. I'm going to stick that batch that we just made together in there, which is going to give us a total of 12 loaves of bread. 12 loaves of bread to sell today. Wish us luck, and like I said, set your ovens to 350. That's what you're going to bake it on, and I'm going to sign off for now. I've got a lot to do. Hope you guys have a good day.